the customer logo, um, a welcome page on the screens in the conference room, um, and that's it. I wouldn't even greet the customers really because they were usually there to meet with one of their representatives. The representatives would meet them at the lobby, and that was it. So as far
Right.
as customer interactions, that was the extent of it.
This was an more of an office manager role, correct?
Correct.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's why over here there are so many like administrative things written. Okay. So
Yeah.
you said that you served as a point of contact regarding any administration and any administrative and operational related functions, correct? So did you improve? Okay. Like as an operations manager, like as an office manager, you must not be involved in like streamlining or improving the efficiency of any of these like functions, like help streamlining the coordination between these functions, right? Did you ever help streamline the coordination between these functions in any way?
Um, no, not necessarily. I started again. I was mostly a point of contact. Um, but no, I mean the processes stayed the same. Like these are all decisions made in the corporate office. I just kind of
Right.
enforce.
Right, all right, that's not a problem. Okay. uh, would it be all right if I merge this position with the position above? Like I'll mention that like one of your previous roles was an office manager or receptionist and you promoted to this role in this time.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Other than this, you said that you processed weekly purchase orders. Did you? How did you ensure that these orders were processed efficiently and accurately?
I had a weekly I would process weekly inventories, make a list of um what we currently had, what was in stock, what wasn't in stock, and place my orders based on that. Before that, the orders, like the receptionist before me was she was placing these orders on a Friday evening. I worked with the vendors directly to move that date up um, to earlier in the week in case there was any changes that needed to be made. I had a couple of days before the final Friday, so I would place the orders a few days before, and I just replenish whatever we were going to use it later in the week by, just kind of seeing what trends we had in the office. So if we use more of this, not kind of base the orders based on that.
Right. Okay. Uh, okay. And you said that you identified sales process gaps. Could you talk about that?
I don't think that should be there actually, because
Okay.
there was
All right.
sales process on. No, I didn't deal with sales processes in the receptionist role.
Right. Okay. And all right, you mentored with sales and customer success to learn product and sales process. This was like essentially your like your, what should I call it, your path to becoming a sales operations analyst, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the same can be said with the with mentoring with sales operations team to learn the sales process, fulfillment, and comp structures. Okay.
Yep.
uh Build relationships with other back office departments within the company. How did this help you in your work?
Oh, this was fantastic. So, in as you can tell, I'm sure, in the sales operations team, like we collaborated with a lot of different departments, and being that these customers, like the sales process touches every department, the fact that I knew a lot of people in a lot of different departments helped me, have my go-to people of hey, you know what, like this sales rep is asking me for help on this opportunity. It's stuck with fulfillment. I had relationships with fulfillment team. I could pick up the phone and say, hey, can you help me with this? Like I really need to get answers here. And I built those connections before even starting this role. So I had a lot of resources as far as when I needed answers and um help from different departments.
Right.
I knew
And
who I.
right. Hello, Anna.
Yes.
Right. I like this must have been a big help. Did you create any relationship, build any relationships? Okay, you built relationships with relevant departments, with relevant stakeholders. So, did you like? How should I put this? Did you build any relationships with with executives or any other like senior management people?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I especially because I being at the front desk in the receptionist role, I dealt with a lot of the leadership because anytime that they needed to set up uh meetings or events for their teams, they would work directly with me. So before even going into this role, I had already built these relationships with the sales leaderships and customer success leadership. Um,
Right. Understood. Understood. So, like, this was your initiative to build these relationships, right?
Correct.
All right. Okay. Uh, okay. So we'll move on to the next job. And thank you so much for spending so much time on this job. You've given me a lot of very helpful details regarding this.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for your help.
Yeah, I'll try to like distill these details as much as possible and like present them in the best way to your in terms of your target jobs. All right.
Alrighty.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next one, and this is like store greeter at Time Warner Cable, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like, could you talk about just like the customer service challenges here?
Yeah, I mean, one of them was my role was very, very limited. I had no access to anything. So a lot of the times when the store would get busy, I was the face of the store. I they would walk in and I was the first person that they would see, and they just wanted to, ask questions and, well, what about this? What about that? And I really had no system, no resources to provide any kind of answers for them, other than trying to calm them down and asking them to be patient so that they can get to an actual representative who would be able to access their account and provide the answers that they were seeking. Um, so that was a huge challenge because you go in there, and usually when you're a Time Warner Cable customer and you're in the store, it's because you have a problem. Um, so a lot of the times, like I was greeting them, and I was basically this layer before they can get answers. So it was definitely frustrating for them. So that was one of the biggest that was the biggest challenge there, not being able to assist more than I could.
Oh, that you are really used to working with companies that are hot messes.
I sure am, actually. Thank you for noticing.
Yet you excel let you excel in these companies. Wow.
I do. I sure did, actually.
All right. So how did you like handle dissatisfied or distressed customers? Like you handled them, you tactfully managed these customers. So how did
Oh,
you what are the particular strategies that you used?
I mean, kindness goes a long way. I mean, just being
Right.
empathetic and understanding that there's an issue and that they are distressed. Like just the simple fact of acknowledging that really went a long way most of the time.
Right. Okay. And over here, did you improve any processes?
No, no. This role was very, very limited. I had
Okay.
no input
Right.
into anything, which why I was there such a short amount of time. Like it was just such a boring role.
Oh yeah. Like it doesn't suit your capabilities.
It did not. It was so boring.
Yeah. Uh, okay. What's this Omatic system?
Oh, that was their check-in system. Basically, the system that I would use to, log the customer in. I would type in some information, what are they here for? Is it a problem? Is it new service? Is it, what do they need? And it would queue them up into a waiting system so that the sales reps could call out the next name and, keep the line in order at least. Because we wouldn't make them stand in line. They would just linger in the lounge, and we had couches and whatnot, and we would call them out by name.
Right. And like time. Okay. So what did your company sell exactly?
I'm sorry?
It's a your company. It's like Time Warner Cable, right?
Yeah, it was like cable services, TV cable.
Right. Okay. So this isn't like a store exactly, right? This is more of
Yeah, yeah, it was a store. I mean, you would walk in there, it looked like an Apple store.
right. So like people would come in there to get new technologies, new.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. You maintained customer wait time to under 2 minutes. How did you accomplish that?
Well, that part was really out of my control. It was a lot of making sure that the sales reps were keeping up with their time. Like they had a limited amount of time of when they could help. And this I did go a little beyond my role on this. Making sure that you weren't taking breaks longer than they should have, or if they needed help with, okay, the customer's here to switch out a cable box. I would help with, okay, well, you stay here, deal with the customer. I'm gonna run to the back and help. Help bring in like whatever equipment you need, and then just kind of help them do their job, so to speed up the wait time for these customers. A lot of the
Right.
time the customer would come in to pay bills, so I would assist them with paying their bill on the kiosk as opposed to with an actual sales rep, so that I didn't have to put them on the system, and we could just get them in and out of the store as quickly as possible.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to stores operations associate. Sorry. Um, you said that you complete quarterly physical inventory counts. How do you ensure that the counts were conducted efficiently and accurately?
I mean, it was all manual. There was, like I had to scan every single SKU in the store.
Oh, good God.
hmm
Oh, that must be treacherous.
It was so much fun.
It was fun?
No, no,
Really?
no, 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 not at all.
Oh, oh, sarcasm. You still elude me. Anywho, uh, you said that you process customer returns and damaged sellable inventory, right? So, how did you ensure that this was processed quickly and accurately?
I just managing my time. So I would, instead of taking care of it all at once, I would kind of take care of it like as it was happening. So if it's staying on top of it as a sales rep, so would come to the back with returns. I had there was a drop box that they would throw it in there with their receipts, and I would, just make sure that it wouldn't stack up, and just process them as they were happening.
Right. Okay. And what tools did you use for daily audits?
This was all paper. It was all manual work.
This was 2014. Yeah, it was 2014. Okay. And did you okay? You audited all agreements. Okay, you audited all the agreements, right?
Yeah.
So over here, there weren't any complex discrepancies or errors, I believe.
Yeah, no, and there weren't. There wasn't any non-standard agreements. Everybody had to sign the same one. As far as resolving discrepancies, this wasn't. It wasn't my responsibility. My direction was, if there was, I just had to find the discrepancies. If there was discrepancies, then I would send them over to my manager, and he would work with the legal department directly. But I wouldn't fix discrepancies here.
Right. You just identify the discrepancies, correct?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, all right. And okay, like the safety. What is this position? Safety at Viga Trucking.
So this was a very, very different role. So I was a safety director for a trucking company. Basically, what I did is I made sure that we were in compliance with the Department of Transportation, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. So this actually
Right.
goes hand in hand with what I did in my previous job. In my previous job, we would provide the software to make sure that you were in compliance with the Department of Transportation. Here, I was the person that was actually using this type of software. I mean, we didn't use software, but I would make sure that I had, all the driver files in order, make sure that all the drivers were getting their drug tests as needed, making sure that we had all the pre-hire documentations in place, making sure that they were compliance with their hours of service as far as the driving went, and just any kind of regulation that we needed to comply with. That was my job.
Right. Okay. Like when you said from a previous role, do you mean the retail sales associate at like T-Mobile?
Sorry, what was that?
You said this is related to like a previous role, and this job where you like
Well,
in a
not
previous huh?
not necessarily related. I just basically I wasn't doing the similar job. Like it wasn't an operational role, um, but Verizon provides the service for companies to stay in compliance. And what I was doing at Viga was making sure that we were in compliance.
Right. Okay. And were there any new processes that you created for safety or any process improvements?
No, no, this was because we were because my role was to make sure we were in compliance um with the federal the FMCSA, the Department of Transportation. Like these were very strict rules that were in place by the Department of Transportation. So we followed their lead.
Right. And retail sales, the previous role before that, retail sales associate, you were what over here exactly?
I was a sales associate at T-Mobile.
T-Mobile, yeah. Okay, so uh, sorry about that. This is a customer service role, right?
Yes,
Okay. And as a sales associate, similar to like a sales representative, you were like this was a customer facing role, right? You directly resolved their issues,
correct.
right? You resolved their issues, you answered their queries, you helped them like close sales, you guided them like guided their sales decisions, things like that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. After that, okay. With regards to education, uh, all right. I believe the dates have been mentioned in your like LinkedIn. You completed your American Sign Language Community College in 2012, right? And this other thing, what is this like? 20 hours of 15 hours of educational courses from Leardo College. What's that?
I started an associate's degree back in the Laredo Community College for an
Right.
education major, but I mean nothing.
Right. Okay. Do you have
That's
any
that's pretty irrelevant, actually.
Right. Okay. Do you have any certifications, any like trainings, workshops, seminars? Have you attended trainings, workshops, seminars related to sales operations, data analytics, stuff like that, or customer
No,
service? Hello.
I do not. No, I
You
do
did
not.
not. All right. Like you graduated to a sales operations analyst and then a senior sales operations analyst in a short span of time, only based on like mentoring from the team within your own company. Oh, good God, that is impressive. Uh, that is extremely impressive. Okay. Hello, Anna?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay. And I believe we are just about done. My last few questions would be like, Would you like? Could you explain to me what your overall work philosophy is? What are the values that you bring, like cherish? What do you bring to the team? What's your specific strategy?
Um, I would say something along the lines of just I very much have a whatever it takes attitude towards any problem solving. Especially in my last role, I mean, the company was going through so many changes. It was a hot mess, and I don't just sit and wait for somebody to tell me how to do the job. Like I'm gonna go out and get it done.
You're
Whoever
a
needs.
self-starter. You're a self-starter. You take
Yeah,
initiative,
definitely.
right? Anything else?
No, I just my whatever it takes attitude is what you know,
Right,
got me up from receptionist to a senior analyst in such a short time.
right. And is there anything in particular that you're passionate about in this whole thing in sales operations? Like, what are you passionate about as a career in your career?
I love sales. I feel like most of my experience was in the sales role. Um, but the operational side of it, like I like analyzing these processes and finding gaps and finding problems and more than anything, like I really do enjoy very much enjoy helping these sales representatives take these prospects and flourish them into these huge enterprise deals. It's exciting.